Okay. I am emotionally compromised. I am spiraling, and I am officially demanding compensation from the producers of Love Island for my stress levels today.
Oh, you and me both. It is entirely possible that my blood pressure has permanently altered its baseline after watching that absolute circus.
Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And honestly, if communication was an Olympic sport, some of these Islanders wouldn't even qualify for the trials. Like, they would be disqualified in the parking lot.
They'd be running backward on the track.
Yeah.
We are truly witnessing a masterclass in cognitive dissonance, which, frankly, is why we require adequate provisions for tonight's deep dive.
Yes. Pour it up, please.
We're serving up watermelon margaritas for the Snark Squad tonight, because this episode was incredibly heavy on the emotional manipulation, and you need a beverage that is, refreshing on the palate, but packs an absolute punch.
Oh, I am already taking a sip. Cheers to that. Clinking my glass to another night of surviving villa chaos with the Snark Squad, because you all are the only reason we haven't completely lost our minds.
Cheers. But before we get to the Islanders' delusions, we actually need to talk about our own for a second.
Oh, God, do we have to?
We do. Because the parallels between our own chaotic adventures this weekend and what's happening in that villa are deeply disturbing. We have to talk about the escape room.
I'm still recovering from that.
Neither did I.
It perfectly illustrates how human beings desperately try to manufacture control in a confined environment, right?
It was a terrifying mirror to reality television. We went with a friend group this weekend, and let's be honest, the level of unearned hubris we displayed walking into that lobby needs to be studied.
We thought we were Ocean's 11. We were strutting in, making intense eye contact with the teenage employee at the front desk.
We genuinely believed we possessed superior intellect. And what's fascinating is how quickly that self-perception completely shattered the second the digital timer started.
Literally within exactly 5 minutes, the entire group was screaming at each other over completely unrelated clues. It was pure feral energy.
The structural integrity of the friend group dissolved instantly. We had one friend who stubbornly insisted they had, quote, the system.
The system? Oh my God.
Yelling, guys, I have the system. But the system was completely devoid of logic. It was just them holding a plastic skull and staring at a blank wall. Which is exactly how half the villa operates, by the way.
It totally is. Meanwhile, I will fully admit, I went into an absolute spiral. I became convinced that every single random object in the room was a vital clue.
You were unhinged. You were connecting invisible strings to a corkboard that didn't exist.
I couldn't help it. There was a smudge on the mirror, and I was screaming that it was a fingerprint leading to a Morse code cipher. There was a loose floorboard I was practically prying up with my fingernails. I was falling in love with my own wild theories.
You were manufacturing a reality to feel in control.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, by default, I became the unofficial, highly sarcastic project manager. I didn't even want the job.
You were just clapping your hands trying to get everyone to shut up.
I had to implement a rudimentary triage system just to get everyone to stop interrupting each other.
And the absolute most embarrassing part, we finally solved the easiest, most obvious puzzle in the room.
Literally just matching 3 primary colors together.
Right. And we celebrated like we had just cracked the Da Vinci Code. We were high-fiving, jumping up and down, ignoring the fact that we still have 55 minutes left and a room full of unsolved puzzles.
It really makes you wonder, analytically speaking, if surviving puzzle-induced confined space chaos actually makes friendship stronger, or if it just exposes everyone's underlying behavioral red flags.
Oh, it exposes everything. Which is exactly the ecosystem of Love Island. These people are trapped in an emotional escape room, and most of them are just staring at a blank wall holding a plastic skull.
Precisely. Which is why we need to spiritually prepare ourselves to analyze their specific brands of delusion with the love horoscopes for the week.
Yes. Let's run through these, because how you process romance is so deeply tied to these archetypes. I want everyone listening to think about how these patterns are manifesting on our screens right now. I'll start with Aries.
Go for it.
Okay, Aries. Your love prediction. A fiery argument turns into a hot makeout session, which is so on brand. Your green flag, they let you win the argument. Your red flag, they don't offer you a snack afterward.
If they aren't providing aftercare for your adrenaline spike, they don't understand you.
Exactly. Your flirt challenge. Maintain eye contact for an uncomfortably long time. Just assert dominance. Your lucky color is cherry red, and your manifestation. I am the main character of this villa.
Classic Aries ego.
Yeah.
Okay, Taurus, your love prediction. A slow burn romance finally boils over. The green flag you need to look for. They remember your exact coffee order without you repeating it.
Crucial for a Taurus.
Right. It's empirical proof of consideration.
Yeah.
But the red flag, they wear unironic flip-flops to dinner. We cannot accept that lack of aesthetic standard.
Unforgivable.
Your flirt challenge. Touch their arm while laughing. Keep it tactile. Lucky color. Matcha green. And your manifestation. I attract luxury and undeniable chemistry.
I love that for them. Moving to Gemini, your love prediction. You'll be torn between a safe bet and a walking red flag. And babes, go for the flag.
Always go for the flag if you're a Gemini. The safe bet will just bore you to tears.
Literally. So your green flag, banter that matches your speed. Your red flag, they reply with just like the letter K, immediate block.
Total dismissal of your communication style.
Right. Your flirt challenge, send a risky double text, do it. Your lucky color is electric yellow. And your manifestation, my chaos is my charm.
Which brings us to Cancer, your love prediction. Deep, soulful eye contact with a stranger who might be your soulmate. The green flag, they actually ask about your childhood.
So rare these days.
Extremely. But the red flag, they hate reality TV. If they don't understand human behavior in a confined environment, they lack emotional intelligence. Your flirt challenge. Share a secret you've never told anyone. Lucky color is ocean blue, and the manifestation. I am worthy of an all-consuming love story.
Okay, Leo, so let's talk about you. Love prediction. You will be the center of a dramatic love triangle. Because of course you will.
They require an audience.
They really do. Your green flag, they hype up your selfies. But your red flag, they try to outshine you at karaoke. Absolutely not. Never let them take the mic.
The stage is yours.
Exactly. Flirt challenge. Give a compliment that is secretly a humble brag. Lucky color. Gold, obviously. Manifestation. My presence is a present.
Moving to Virgo. Love prediction. You'll correctly analyze someone's dating history in 5 minutes just by looking at them. Green flag. Their apartment is spotless.
A cluttered environment is a cluttered mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the red flag. They don't use coasters. It shows a reckless disregard for consequence.
It's so disrespectful to the wood finish.
Your flirt challenge. Fix their collar or hair while explaining exactly why they are wrong. Lucky color. Chris White. Manifestation. I am upgrading my standards.
Libras. Your love prediction. You'll accidentally flirt your way into a commitment you didn't even see coming.
The people-pleasing pipeline is so real.
It's dangerous. Green flag. They plan the whole date so you don't have to make a decision. Red flag. They make you choose the restaurant. Analysis paralysis will ruin the night.
Decision fatigue is the Libra's kryptonite.
Truly. Flirt challenge. Wink. Just a classic, shameless wink. Lucky color. Blush pink. Manifestation. Balance looks beautiful on me.
Scorpios. Love prediction. A late-night confession changes everything. You operate entirely in the deep end. Green flag? They aren't scared of your intensity.
What's that?
But the red flag. They have a private Instagram, but accept everyone. What are you hiding while also seeking validation? It's highly suspicious.
It's giving fake exclusive.
Right. Flirt challenge. Send a song link with no context. Lucky color. Midnight black. Manifestation. My mystery is my superpower.
Sagittarius. Love prediction. A spontaneous adventure leads to a romantic spark. Green flag. They have a valid passport ready to go.
They value experiential capital.
Yes. Red flag. They need a detailed itinerary. Too rigid. Try to cage a sag and they will bite. Flirt challenge. Suggest skipping the party to get drive-thru fries. Lucky color. Purple. Manifestation. I am a magnet for fun and passion.
Capricorns. Love prediction. You will finally find someone whose ambition matches their attractiveness. Green flag. They have a 5-year plan.
Financial literacy is a love language.
Absolutely red flag. They are, quote, still figuring things out at 35. We do not have the ROI to raise adults.
We really don't.
Flirt challenge. Ask them for professional advice, then compliment their brain.
Yeah.
Lucky color. Slate gray. Manifestation. I build empires and epic romances.
Aquarius. Love prediction. A bizarre niche interest connects you to a total weirdo in the best way. Green flag. They understand your alien conspiracy theories.
Or at least entertain them.
Right. Red flag. They are quote-unquote too normal. Normal is just a lack of imagination. Flirt challenge. Send a highly specific, slightly confusing meme. Lucky color. Neon blue. Manifestation. I embrace the wonderfully strange.
And finally, Pisces. Love prediction. You will fall in love with someone's potential again.
Stop calling me out.
You're looking at the fantasy, not the reality. Green flag, they make you a playlist. Red flag, they aren't big on labels, which just means they want intimacy with zero accountability.
Run for the hills.
Flirt challenge. Look at their lips while they were talking. Lucky color. Seafoam green. Manifestation. My heart is open to the fairy tale.
But babes, enough about our own chaotic adventures. Let's head back into the villa where everyone's trying to escape emotional confusion with significantly less success than we had in the escape room.
It was an exercise in collective delusion tonight. We are doing a deep dive into absolute psychological warfare. Let's start with the most glaring example of a manufactured power dynamic: Yasmin's dictatorship.
The round table of doom? I cannot even fathom the ego it takes to call a literal round table meeting over one minor disagreement.
It's textbook triangulation.
Like, Simba simply voiced a dissenting opinion during the fallout of the podcast challenge. He didn't scream, he didn't name call. He just said the group was being unfair to Julia. And Yasmin responds by sitting Cavan and Aidan down like a mafia don to freeze Simba out.
She's establishing an in-group and an out-group. By pulling them into a formal meeting, she is spinning Simba's defense of Julia as this massive betrayal because, to someone who requires absolute control, independent thought is an act of war.
That is so dark, but it makes perfect sense. Simba literally just said, guys, this feels like a bandwagon. He stood up for the underdog. And I have to say, my heart swelled. The internet is calling him Mufasa now.
As they should. He stepped off the bandwagon. But let's look at Cavan sitting at this little dictator table nodding along and calling Simba a game player.
Oh my god, the hypocrisy.
The projection is blinding.
Cavan, babe, you are sitting next to Aidan. Aidan is the biggest game player in the entire villa. He's been tactically waffling since day one. How does Cavan not see it?
Because seeing it would require him to examine his own complicity, which is deeply uncomfortable. Cavan and Yasmin know they're playing a game, but because Simba isn't backing up their narrative, they have to paint him as the villain to justify their own behavior.
And Aidan is just happy to be included as long as nobody asks him to commit.
Exactly. Aidan operates on pure self-preservation. He aligns with the dominant power block to stay safe.
It just makes me love Simba more. But, we can't linger on the round table because we have to talk about the segment that literally shattered me. Tommy's timeline treachery.
The podcast fallout.
Yes, Yasmin in absolute floods of tears in the dressing room. I was yelling at my screen. Scammer gets scammed.
We have to trace this timeline forensically. The podcast challenge reveals that Tommy broke up with his girlfriend 2 weeks before coming on the show.
14 days.
14 days. Do you know what I was doing 14 days after my last serious breakup? I was eating cold pizza over the sink and crying to Adele. I was not flying to Mallorca to fall in love on national television. It's biologically impossible to process a 10-month relationship in 2 weeks. And his defense is unhinged. He pulls Yasmin aside and says, well, I haven't thought about my ex once.
Sociopathic. You don't just erase a 10-month relationship from your brain in 14 days. It proves he applied for the show while he was still with her.
That is the logistical reality. The casting process takes months. He was absolutely still cohabitating with this girlfriend while packing his bags. But is he an evil genius actor? Or just a club promoter responding to the structure of reality TV?
I mean, he's a promoter selling a VIP package of lies. But what's truly tragic is Yasmin's reaction. She forgave him at warp speed.
The sunk cost fallacy in full effect.
She cried in the dressing room, said she didn't want to look like an idiot, and then just accepts his half-baked apology. Why didn't she pack her bags?
Because she has invested her entire narrative arc into this man for weeks. To accept he's a fraud means accepting she was fooled on national television. Her brain protects her ego by choosing to believe his lie.
Which explains the most painful moment. She wipes her tears, goes back to the girls, and says, we're deeply in love.
It was an incantation. She wasn't convincing them, she was convincing herself.
Babe, you are in a dating pyramid scheme. It was agonizing. But speaking of terrible investments, we have to transition to the Ballad of Priya and Aidan. Delusion at its finest.
The lack of self-preservation is staggering. Let's look at Aidan's mess. In the same challenge, an audio clip plays where Aidan explicitly admits that if Yasmin were single, he'd 100% explore it.
And Priya hears this. She's sitting right there, and what does she do? She sleeps next to him in the bed that same night. Where's her self-worth?
She is completely paralyzed by the fear of rejection, and Lorenzo actually tries to intervene. He pulls her aside, acting as the villa's resident cynical therapist, and asks her, have you ever been in a situation where the spark comes later?
He was trying to gently tell her Aidan isn't attracted to her. Lorenzo was doing the Lord's work.
He was providing objective third-party analysis, and Priya just refuses to process the data.
She's under a spell. She finally pulls Aidan for a breakup conversation, telling the girls her self-love is telling her to walk away. But The second she sits down on the terrace, she starts waffling. She starts talking about how much she likes him.
She's handing him a script, begging him to fight for her. And here is the ultimate humiliation. Priya is failing to end it, hoping for a grand gesture, and Aidan interrupts her.
Oh, this was brutal.
He looks at her and says, "Let me make it easy for you." And he effectively dumps her. She tried to softly break up with him, failed, and he cleanly severed the tie without taking any blame.
I screamed. He put her out of her misery, and then, the cherry on top, Priya goes back to the girls and tells them she ended it. She lied to their faces.
Desperate ego preservation. She rewrote history to survive the public humiliation. As one of the Snark Squad commenters said, she doesn't need an Uber to the airport. She needs an Uber to a post-rejection recovery center.
5 stars, driver. Take her straight there. It makes you wonder if Lorenzo is right to advise everyone to break up. Is he the only one seeing clearly, or is he just trying to eliminate the competition?
It's both. He has high emotional intelligence, but he's also aware of the game theory. He gently encourages weak couples to self-destruct to clear his own path, which brings us perfectly to the Last Supper.
The formal wear dinner. Everyone looked stunning. Julia was serving face in that black dress. And Lorenzo pulls the ultimate rom-com move right at the table.
I rolled my eyes so far back into my head. Lorenzo, who spent the day giving detached advice, suddenly panics and scrambles to secure his own couple. He asks Julia to be exclusive at a group dinner.
It was so heavy-handed. Like, babe, you share a bathroom with 12 people. Only Lorenzo can make exclusively dating seem like a marriage proposal.
It was entirely performative. He knows they were in the bottom 3 couples from the podcast vote. He needs a grand gesture to secure those final public votes and shift the narrative. It's tactical waffling at its peak.
But it worked on me. I was kicking my feet. But the good vibes lasted 3 seconds, because then Kevin gets the text of doom.
The shock dumping. Julia and Lorenzo, Mika and Samaraj, and Priya and Aidan are vulnerable. And the couple dumped immediately, Aidan and Priya.
My stomach dropped, even though we wanted them gone. But I have to give Priya credit. She had a surprisingly graceful exit. She packed, she kissed Yasmin goodbye, she talked about the sisterhood. It was sweet.
I'll provide the cold, hard truth. They were on borrowed time for weeks. It was a dignified exit, but incredibly overdue. Good riddance to the dead weight before the finale.
Brutal, but accurate. So, looking at who's left in this pressure cooker, let's build our Villa fantasy draft based solely on the remaining cast.
Let's do it. Category 1, most entertaining roommate. Who do you want to actually share a living space with?
Julia, without hesitation. She's unapologetic, and she will tell you when your outfit is trash. You need a roommate who will stop you from leaving the house looking crazy. Plus, she just wants snacks and good vibes.
Solid pick, but too intense for a Tuesday morning. My pick is Yasmin.
Yasmin? Are you insane? We just talk about how she's a manipulative dictator.
Exactly. The sheer psychological warfare would keep things interesting. You'd never be bored. You'd wake up and she'd have organized a round table because you bought the wrong almond milk. The entertainment value is unmatched.
You would wake up with a horse's head in your bed. You're a madman.
Right.
Okay, best advice giver.
Easy. Lorenzo. He is the villa's agony aunt while catching a tan. He dismantles delusions with surgical precision. He needs to go to therapy school.
He uses that gift to manipulate people. I want advice from someone with integrity, so my pick is Simba, Mufasa. He has a moral compass. He sees the bandwagon and steps off it.
Fair argument. Simba has integrity, but Lorenzo gets results. Next category. Most likely to survive Casa Amor without straying.
Angelista. She's loyal to a fault. Even when Simba explored other connections, she stayed focused. She doesn't have wandering eye syndrome.
I agree she's loyal, but I'm going with Samaraj.
Why? He barely speaks.
Because he seems absolutely terrified of Mika. He wouldn't dare look at another woman because he knows Mika would telepathically end him from the main villa. Fear is a fantastic motivator.
That is so dark, but probably true. Okay, final category. Person you'd trust with your biggest secret. I'm picking Yasmin. She is a girl's girl who will take your secret to the grave even while her own life falls apart.
I am picking it nobody.
You can't pick nobody.
Fine, I default to Aidan. Telling a secret in this villa is like broadcasting it on a jumbotron. But Aidan is so detached he'd probably forget the secret 5 minutes later. Your secret is safe through sheer incompetence.
The shade. Well, I still think my team would dominate your team in villa politics.
My team has raw strategy and zero moral constraints.
Duh.
We would manipulate your team into eliminating themselves by day 4.
We'll see what the Snark Squad says. Speaking of the fans, let's pretend the villa itself has a comment section, because the public is seeing exactly what we're seeing.
The collective sanity is slipping. Here's a comment. Tommy saying he hasn't thought about an ex he dumped 14 days ago is giving sociopath energy. Red flags everywhere.
So true. And here's one. I've never yelled at my TV this much. Priya, stand up. Your knees must be tired from begging.
Painfully accurate. Here's another. Yasmin holding a round table over one disagreement is comical levels of dictatorship. She thinks she's on the traitors.
Oh my God, yes. How about this one? Justice for the bombshell. Yasmin is in a dating pyramid scheme and doesn't even know it.
And my personal favorite. Can we give Lorenzo a Pulitzer for tactically waffling his way out of every confrontation?
He is the king of waffle. Now, if the villa had a suggestion jar on the kitchen island, what would these people anonymously submit? Let's guess who wrote these.
Note 1. Please stop pulling people for chats every 5 minutes. My iced coffee is melting.
Lorenzo. He just wants to tan in peace. He's clocking out of his therapist shift.
Exactly. Note 2. Mandatory communication classes for men who use the word spark.
Priya, projecting her trauma onto all men, and honestly valid.
Very valid. Note 3. More snacks. Less fake friends.
Julia. She's completely unbothered, just wants a cheese toasty.
Absolutely. Note 4. Can we have one day with no drama? My tear ducts are dry.
Poor Yasmin. She has cried so much, she just wants to stare at Tommy's blank face in peace.
And note 5. Movie night every Tuesday, so I know what you all are whispering about.
Simba. He wants the receipts played on the big screen to expose the game players.
He wants irrefutable data. Brilliant. Which leads us to tomorrow's tabloid headlines, because the ex-Islanders are returning to vote. The ghosts of Love Island past. What are your headlines?
I have scammer gets scammed. Yasmin finally checks Tommy's phone. I want the sunk cost fallacy to shatter.
Yeah.
And producers cancel bedtime after absolute chaos at the fire pit.
Very plausible. My headlines are, Islander discovers accountability. Briefly, before blaming it on the edit. And Lorenzo patents tactical waffling as an Olympic sport.
So good. Now, predictions for tomorrow. My serious prediction. The dumped ghosts are going to maliciously vote to dump Mika and Samraj because Mika was salty to people on their way out. Karma.
Solid analytical prediction. My serious prediction. The ex-Islanders will target Tommy and Yasmin. They've had their phones, they know about Tommy's girlfriend, and they'll bring that external data back to dump the scammer.
Ooh, outside knowledge colliding with inside delusion. Okay, my ridiculous prediction. Priya refuses to leave the airport and sneaks back into the villa dressed as a producer to demand one more conversation with Aidan.
Is she unhinged enough?
Yeah.
Yes. Does she have the tactical awareness for a disguise? No. She'd blow her cover immediately. My ridiculous prediction. Lorenzo panics about the vote and tries to actually propose marriage to Julia to secure his spot.
He totally would. I cannot wait for tomorrow's episode. My blood pressure is already rising.
The chaos is only going to escalate.
Well, Snark Squad, that's all the spiraling we can handle tonight.
Yeah.
But slide into our comments and DMs with 3 things. 1, which Islander would you want on your escape room team? 2, which love horoscope felt the most accurate to your messy life right now? And 3, what anonymous suggestion would you put in the villa's suggestion jar?
Thank you for surviving another intense week of villa psychosis with us. Remind everyone to subscribe, leave a 5-star review unless you're a game player, and share this deep dive with another Love Island loving babe.
Yes! Keep spreading the snark. And remember,
Stay flirty, stay fabulous, and we'll see you on the snark side.